Good morning, everyone. How are we? Happy Monday. Did you guys have a nice weekend? I hope so. How are we? Oh, hang on. Monday. So today's going to be a little bit of a sensitive stream, I think, because it is the extreme dance coaches that are going to be testifying. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of a content warning there. If you need to step away, I totally understand. And let's see. I think I will send DB a new mask to wear for trick or treat in prison. Every day is a weekend. Hey, Andrea, what do you mean? You said y'all are kind of famous. What were you talking about? Our group, our Hee and Kiki Club. Good morning, Maddie. All right, so I'm going to get to this, and when I need to make a comment, I will pause the video, okay? I'm not sure which one we're going to start with. I'll just start with the first one I uploaded.
All right, thank you. Be seated. Mr. Brooks, I cut you off when you were asking questions about what this witness had seen on the news. I'll give you an opportunity to give me an offer of proof as to why you believe that's relevant and specifically as to this witness.
Relevant
Bobby.
Because of how close he testified to being away from the vehicle. He testified to being 20 yards away from the vehicle, which is not super close, but it's not far enough that you wouldn't be able to see a driver or see into the car.
Well, so that's an argument, sir. So what questions would you have that you didn't already ask, and why? How does the news reports relate to that?
Maybe he may have seen the alleged defendant on the news, and maybe that may jog his memory back to if he seen the driver.
But he testified he didn't see the driver. So
he also testified to never making the comment that he didn't remember the event, but it's clearly in his summary and in his report that he said that. So it's conflicting. His report is conflicting with what he's testifying. So I was trying to get at the credibility of it. That was my whole aim.
What does
That was
the
his whole
news
aim.
reports have to do with that, sir?
The news reports are relevant just by the sheer amount of reporting that they've been reporting. This has been going on for a year.
That assumes facts, not an evidence, sir. So this witness did not identify you during this trial. This witness testified as to his observations regarding the date in question, his injuries, and other things surrounding what he saw and heard and what he didn't see and hear. So the news reports don't have any bearing on his credibility. The points that you bring up are arguments that you may make if you choose during your closing arguments. But the questions you are asking don't further that theory. So that's why I cut you off, because there was not anything that you were connecting by way of relevance.
With all due respect, Your Honor, a lot of the questions I ask are
Stupid.
objected to. It seems like I can't even get to the questions that need to be answered.
Oh, by the way, you guys, this is day 7 according to I think it's the Law and Crime schedule, because TMJ has a different schedule than Law and Crime.
Sir, many of your questions go to these sovereign ideas that are frivolous arguments about the plaintiff and all of that. We give you a little bit of leeway. I give you a little bit of leeway on it. But to ask about a claim, because frankly, it's a vague question, and many of these victims may in fact have made a claim with crime victim compensation. And so I think that's potentially relevant. But You may be asking it for a different purpose. I'm allowing it probably for a different purpose than you're anticipating. But the questions about the state and the plaintiff, other than when you talk about and you ask questions about who subpoenaed them, had they reviewed anything in preparation for their testimony, those are all fair game. But other questions are not, and that's why there's an objection, and that's why I rule the way that I do. So ask relevant questions, they'll be answered. So I don't see any need for this witness to be brought back in. I don't believe that witness was on Mr. Brooks's list, so that witness is excused. Who's the next witness?
With all respect, on the record, Your Honor.
I've asked a question of the state. Let them answer, please.
Will I be able
Mr. Brooks, let them answer. Hold on.
So the next witness that we had intended on calling is Detective Mike Carpenter with the Waukesha Police Department, who would provide testimony about his conducting the speed analysis of the vehicle. I don't expect that we'd be able to get through direct. Well, we might be able to get through direct.
I'd like to at least have him start. I want to go closer to the lunch hour today.
So the other issue is that we thought we were going to be breaking for lunch, so he's not in the building right now. We have another witness who is ready, who we could call out of order, but that would be moving into a new topic, a new group along the parade route. So we're fine with whatever the court wants to do.
I'd like to keep going, so I'll defer to you on which witness to call.
And Your Honor, I would just note, I don't believe I asked for it, maybe I did. Jeff Rogers, I know he has remained in the courtroom, he is a victim. Is he excused from his subpoena? He was not an individual who we were provided a subpoena for by Mr. Brooks.
He's excused.
Thank you.
All right, we'll bring the jury back out and you may call. Quickly, Mr. Brooks.
You made reference to questions I asked, and being, you said something to the effect of sovereign things. I don't understand what you mean by that. I have no anticipation on your rulings. I'm not trying to sit here and I got enough work to do on the fly. I'm definitely not trying to sit here and trying to anticipate what
I got to laugh for a minute because he said he's working. Y'all think he's working? That boy ain't working.
will be objected to, what will be ruled on in any way. I'm merely just, it was understood that this would be a whole new thing for me to do. I apologize if I'm not as polished as I should be working on 3 days time before trial. We see all the work that I haven't even gone through.
Mr. Brooks, the jury's coming back in.
For the record, I don't consent to that name, and I don't consent to the arguments that the prosecution made. There are relevant questions, as the jury deserves
Mr.
to
Brooks,
know.
please.
The jury deserves to know who the plaintiff is in this matter. I think it's fair to them, if they're to make an informed and intelligent decision, they should.
You guys, do y'all really think that he believed? I think he did. I think he totally believed that by him saying that, because look, he's looking over there like the jury's walking in, right? I totally believe that he thought that he was going to influence the jury by these little, the jury deserves to know things. What do y'all think?
Know who the plaintiff is.
So your objections noted for the record.
Will legal finding of fact on that ruling, Your Honor? Or is that a judicial determination, Your Honor?
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. All right, the state may call its next witness, please.
Rain.
The state calls Alyssa Gajewski.
All right. Good morning. If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is on my right, It is up a riser. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand and my clerk Teresa will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. Please have a seat. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and then spell each.
Alyssa Gajewski, ALYSSA,
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Ms. Gajewski, how old are you?
23.
Do you have any familiarity with a group called the Extreme Dance Group?
Yes.
How do you know that group?
I used to coach there
How long were you a coach for the Extreme Dance Group?
about 4 years.
Can you tell us the time frame where that took place?
Yeah, so probably around 2018 to early 2022.
Where's that dance group headquartered? Where do you hold your practices?
It was at, it's 404 Travis Lane. I don't know Waukesha, so I don't know what road it's off of.
Okay, but it's in Waukesha?
Yes.
All right. And in general, what cities or municipalities did the dancers come from?
Waukesha.
What were the approximate age ranges of the girls that you instructed at Extreme?
Just myself.
The girls who were dancers, how old were they?
So we started at Itty Bitty, which was about 2-ish, and then my team was the oldest, so we went up to 8th grade.
What do you call your team?
So my team was called the Elite Team.
And what's the approximate age range of those girls?
6 to 8, 8th grade.
And you mentioned Itty Bitty was about 2, right?
About 2 to 3.
Are there any
I wanna
groups
say.
between those?
Yeah, so it's Itty Bitty, and then the tiny group, and then the mini group, and then the juniors, and then the elite.
And it's a continuum of age from Itty Bitty all the way up to the elite?
Yes.
Okay. I want to direct your attention to Sunday afternoon, November 21st of 2021. Was your group, the Extreme Dance Group, marching in the Waukesha Christmas Parade that day?
Yes.
And were you present with the group?
Yes.
Were there any other instructors or coaches there?
Yeah, there was just one other,
And who was that?
Jamie Sutton.
Do you remember approximately how many from your dance group were present?
I had about 12. Jamie might have had around 10. Minis was around 4, maybe. Tinies 4, and Itty Bitties, I'm not sure, because they were just in like strollers and stuff with their parents.
When you marched in the parade, were you in a specific formation?
Yes, we were.
And how were the different age groups organized in that formation?
So at the front, it would start oldest, and then it would go to youngest. So it would be elite, juniors, minis, tiny, and then the itty bitties with their parents.
Okay. Was there a vehicle or a float associated with your group in the parade?
Yeah, there was a truck.
What kind of truck?
It was,
Pickup truck?
yes, yeah.
What's the objection? Her answer may stand. I'll instruct the state to avoid leading questions.
About how many times did you make it through your routine during that parade?
Overruled.
I don't recall.
Was there a certain point when your dancers stopped dancing?
Overruled. You may answer.
Yeah, they did stop dancing.
Why?
Because there was a car that drove through.
There's cleaners right there. There's some up there. There's also water. You may open one of those.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
want to address what Yaki said. I've heard juries make up their minds by the end of the opening statements and 1 to 2 witnesses. Any thoughts on that? I don't. It's kind of like your first impression is set whenever you go into something, right? So I believe that you're probably. I would say, yeah, probably. That's the high area. How would I say this? That's the most impressionable time, I guess. And then that same thought process probably carries on, and they're probably looking for prove me wrong the rest of the way through. Yeah. Well, that one juror said that he said they pretty much knew it was just like a crazy show, and they were aware that it it wasn't normal, and they weren't dealing with a normal defendant.
Ms. Kajewski, we're going to put up on the screen for you Exhibit 15, and with the court's permission, this has been received already. I'd ask to publish to the jury as well.
Permission granted.
We already did Redbeard.
Do you see the screen in front of you?
Yes.
Do you see a green box with names in it with the label Waukesha Extreme Dance underneath?
Yes.
Do you recognize the names in that green box?
Yes.
You see a black line connecting that green box to a yellow star?
Yes.
Can we scroll down a little bit? Do you recognize the neighborhood in this map?
Kinda. It's downtown.
Downtown Waukesha?
Yeah.
The yellow star that's connected to the Waukesha Extreme Dance names, is that an approximate area where you described the car hitting the girls?
Yeah, right before the 5 points.
Okay, we can take that down, thank you. I'm now going to project onto the screen for the witness only, exhibit number 33. Let me know when you see the screen in front of you.
I see it.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to just take as much time as you need, read all of those names, and then describe for me what we're looking at.
It's the formation that the girls were in.
On the day of the parade?
Yes.
And does that accurately represent where each of those girls were in formation?
Yes.
And you've reviewed a diagram similar to this before your testimony, right?
Yes.
I would move Exhibit 33 into evidence and ask for permission to publish.
Before I allow that, if you could ask her about the non-label boxes.
Sure. You can see that there are some boxes on this diagram that don't have names in them, is that right?
Correct.
What do those boxes represent?
Who wasn't injured?
So, but those are people? Those are
Oh, yes.
members of the dance group?
Yes.
But to your knowledge, a box without a name is a person who wasn't hit.
Yes.
Okay. I'll renew my request at this point.
Objection. How is it legal to instruct the prosecution to ask a question that they should already know to ask?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 33 is received and permission to publish is granted.
Okay, can you, Ms. Kajewski, can you explain for us what the colors mean in this exhibit?
So they're each different team. So the yellow is the elite team, the green is the junior team, and the blue is the mini team. And there is 2 teams behind that, but they didn't have a formation. And that's why only these 3 are on here.
Okay. You testified earlier that you were marching in order of age, so the elites were in the front of the group, right?
Yes.
So the parade route, if we were moving forward, it would be the bottom of this page, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we project for the witness only exhibit number 32, please?
Go ahead.
Let me know when you see something on your screen.
I see it.
Okay, we're going to play just a few seconds of this to see if you recognize it. Okay, we'll pause there. You played 19 seconds. Do you recognize this video?
Not this video.
Okay. Do you recognize the truck
Yes.
at this point that we've stopped at?
Yep.
At 19 seconds?
Yeah.
What's the truck?
That's the truck that we had for Extreme.
During the Christmas parade?
Yes.
Did you recognize the people in front of the truck holding the banner?
Objection. The witness stated she doesn't recognize the video. How is it permitted?
Your objection's noted, it's overruled. She may answer the question.
Could you say the question again?
Did you recognize the two people holding the banner in front of the truck?
Yes.
Were they affiliated with your group?
Yes.
Let's play a few more seconds just for the witness. And pause there. Pause at 27 seconds. Did you recognize the people coming into the screen from the left?
Yes.
Who are they?
Our dancers.
Okay. Does this video appear to be an accurate depiction of your group along the parade route during the Waukesha Christmas Parade?
Yeah.
You may answer.
Yes.
I'd move to admit exhibit number 32 and ask for permission to publish.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Did you sustain that objection?
I didn't rule on it. Which objection?
That I just objected to.
It was overruled.
Are you making that decision now?
There's been a request by the state to receive Exhibit 32, Mr. Burke.
I objected.
All right, then your objection's noted. It's overruled.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
Exhibit 32 is received. The foundation has been laid, and permission to publish is granted.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
The record speaks for itself.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
Kara, Giroux,
There's no audio with this video. We're going to play from the beginning.
How long is the video for the record?
It's 1 minute and 23 seconds.
Thank you.
Pause, please. We've paused at the 35-second mark. Ms. Kajewski, do you remember what you were wearing on your head, if anything at all, that day?
Yeah, I had a bright red hat on.
Do you see yourself in this, at the 35-second mark of this video?
Yes.
That's a touch screen in front of you. Can you use your finger and circle yourself? Okay. And we can clear that, please, Madam Clerk. And we'll resume at the 35-second mark.
good morning, Miss Kimmy. John Cooper said the DA could have rested after 2 days and had a conviction. You're probably right. You're probably right. Bryant, I swear we all wonder, what is it? Why? There's
And we
no
can
there's
take
no
that down now.
understanding why.
Thank you. So, Ms. Kajewski, well, let me just clarify.
Good morning,
What did we
Christina.
see at the end of that video?
Um,
You can take some time.
a car going through the parade.
Is that the same vehicle that you remember seeing that day?
Yes.
Do you recall where you were standing at the point that the vehicle started to go through your girls in relation to the rest of the group?
Yeah, in relation to the rest of the group, I was on the side that was with all the names, but I don't remember like what stores I was by.
If you were standing in the middle of your group, were you on the left side or the right side?
Overruled, she may answer.
Which way are you looking?
If you're walking down the parade route.
I'm looking towards the truck.
Yep.
I would be on the left side.
And you were towards the front
Yes.
Thought I pinned
by
it.
the
Hang
elite
on.
girls?
Yes.
Okay. I'm now going to ask that we put up for the witness only exhibit number 34.
I'm pinning Steve's obituary link to the top of this, you guys.
And before we get into questions about this exhibit, I want to go back and ask you about the video we just looked at, exhibit 32. After having watched that video just now in court, does it appear as though that diagram with the names that we looked at, exhibit 33, does it appear as though that diagram was an accurate depiction of where the named girls were positioned at the time the SUV came into the group?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what's the objection?
Hearsay.
Overruled.
Okay.
Thank you, Chastity.
Now, I
Yes.
believe the end. Okay. So now we'll put up exhibit 34 for the witness, please. We're just going to play a few seconds to see if you recognize this. Let's do a few more seconds. Okay. Do you recognize this video?
Not the video, but
Do you recognize images from the video?
it's
Hearsay.
Overruled. You may continue answering.
Guess she's watching phone videos that are hard to tell.
I turned it off for the witness,
oh
so they can finish.
okay.
Okay, I think we've got the rotation figured out
Okay.
here. We're going to play 5 or 10 seconds again for you just to see if you recognize the video.
Okay, Bob kidding.
Okay. Now do you recognize the video?
Yeah.
What does it show?
The car going through and someone
Is
flying.
that an accurate depiction of the scene as you saw it that day?
Mm-hmm.
Morning, Edie Beatty.
Already stated she didn't recognize the video.
This characterizes her testimony. Your objection's overruled. It is not hearsay. You may answer. And if you did answer, if you could just repeat it.
Could you?
Is that video an accurate depiction of the scene as you saw it unfold that day?
Yes.
Your answer may stand. Thank you.
What was the answer?
Yes.
Move
Morning,
exhibit
Karen.
34 into evidence and request permission to publish.
Exhibit 34 has received permission to publish.
This is a 50-second clip. We're not going to play the whole thing. We're going to play from the beginning to about 12 seconds. We're going to turn the audio on. We've paused at 12 seconds. I'm going to ask that we go back to the beginning, slow it down to 30% speed, and we've turned the audio off. We're going to watch that save 12 seconds again.
Morning, Sean. Thank you, Kimmy.
Pause. And I'm going to ask Ms. Gussie to go frame by frame. We paused at 1 second, by the way.
I totally agree,
Next
Vane.
frame. Next frame. One more. There. We're at a frame at 2 seconds. There's a figure on the bottom, on the left side of the screen, who appears to be wearing black with long hair. You recognize that person?
Yes.
Can you see any features
Mr.
in
Brooks,
there?
that's argumentative. Your objection's noted. It's overruled. You may answer.
Hearsay. Objection for
Not
hearsay.
hearsay. You may answer.
Clear hearsay.
You may answer.
Yes.
Who is that person we're looking at?
I agree, Tara.
Jesselyn.
Oh, Jesselyn was the one that was hurt
Can you
so
use
bad.
the touch screen in front of you and circle that picture? Circle Jesselyn, please.
Morning, Shonda.
I'd ask to save the annotation as Exhibit 34A and to move it into evidence.
The
Wasn't-
annotation has been saved. Exhibit 34A is received.
Wasn't Jesselyn in
Ms.
a
Kuczewski,
coma
when you
for a
say
day or
Jesselyn,
something?
are you referring to Jesselyn Torres?
Yes.
She was a member of your dance group?
Yeah, she was on the junior team.
We can take that down. I'm going to ask that we play Exhibit 35 just for the witness. And this is just 8 seconds long, so we'll play the whole thing to see if you recognize it, okay?
Okay.
He's hollow, no
Do you
remorse
recognize that
whatsoever.
video?
Yes.
What does it show?
The car going through.
Through your dance group?
Yes.
Is that an accurate video depicting the events that day?
Yes.
Move Exhibit 35 into evidence and request permission to publish.
Objection.
Oh, shut up.
Exhibit 35 is received. Permission to publish. Granted, your objection is noted for the record.
Again, this is 8 seconds long. We're going to turn the audio on for this video.
You are absolutely right, Mark. Like, the jury saw all of this, and you can't tell me, yeah, exactly, Melanator. You can't tell me that the jury didn't watch his expressions and his lack of remorse and get some kind of just chills at the sheer evil of it.
Objection still. Is the video, who even took the video? Is it resident? Is it relevant?
Sir, it's not an objection, it's a statement. We can ask questions later.
Morning, Barbara.
Not even a witness that took.
Go ahead.
So, Judge, before we begin, I have to step in here and request that Mr. Brooks be instructed to stop making comments under his breath. This witness is very clearly having an emotional and difficult time testifying. And
Go, Zach.
She doesn't need to hear that.
Yes.
Objection. She can't hear anything I'm saying.
Mr. Brooks, the mics are very...
I want to hear that again.
Not even a witness that took.
Go ahead.
So, Judge, before we begin, I have to step in here and request that Mr. Brooks be instructed to stop making comments under his breath. This witness is very clearly having an emotional and difficult time testifying, and she doesn't need to hear that.
Objection. She can't hear anything I'm saying.
Mr. Brooks, the mics are very good in this courtroom, so please refrain. All right, keep going.
Thank you. So we will begin at the beginning of this video. We'll play the whole thing with audio.
Amanda.
I just want to say one thing. To the extent that there are comments on this video, those comments are not being offered. I would instruct the jury to disregard those in terms of the evidence. It's the video that's important.
for the witness, for the courtroom actually. Exhibit 33, the diagram again. And we'd ask to publish for the jury.
Go ahead.
Can we zoom in on the top of the screen here? So, Ms. Kajewski, I'd like to work our way through this name by name based on your recollection of what you saw during the parade that day, okay? So let's start with the first person on the top right, Vivian Urell. You knew Vivian Urell before November 21st, right?
Yes.
And do you recall seeing her either while the SUV was driving through or after?
Objection, hearsay.
It's not hearsay. Overruled.
I saw her after, not during, because I was in the front.
Can you describe the circumstances when you saw her after?
Objection, hearsay.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to direct your attention to review section 908.01. You have a statute book. Please do that. It's not hearsay. All right, go ahead.
Could you repeat the question?
Can you describe the circumstances of how you saw her and where afterwards?
Yeah, she was on the opposite side of the road, just like in a fetal position.
Did you have any interaction with her?
Yeah, I did. I went in a squad car with her to the hospital.
Which hospital?
I think it's called Waukesha Memorial.
Here in Waukesha?
Yep.
Okay. And did you observe any injuries to her?
Yeah, she had road rash on her chin.
Okay. Next, I want to ask you about Mackenzie Hollingsworth, the first top right green square there. Did you see her as the SUV was coming through?
I didn't see her as the SUV. I
What-
saw her at the hospital.
Waukesha Memorial?
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe what she looked
Sorry, was that a yes? You just said,
Oh.
was that a yes?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. That's okay.
Can you describe how she looked at the hospital?
Yeah, she was laying on the ground, and her mom was on her left side of her, and I was on her right, and I was holding her hand, trying to get her to squeeze my hand so she could like stay awake. But she was going in and out of consciousness. She was asleep, and then she would wake up sobbing, and it would just repeat.
I next want to ask you about Alice Urell, so the next green square down on that diagram. Did you see her as the SUV drove through?
I didn't
100%.
see like
Kauai.
her get hit because it was just a blur, but I saw her body on the ground right after, and she's the one that the first person I saw.
Okay. And did you have any interaction with her after the fact?
Yeah, I picked her up as soon as her body was right in front of me. I just picked her up because I didn't know what was about to happen.
What did you think had happened at that point?
I didn't know. I didn't know if there was going to be just a bunch of cars. So I just wanted to get her out of the way.
Gosh.
You've already testified about Jesselyn Torres. The Jesselyn Torres who's named in a green square there, is that the same Jesselyn Torres that you referenced when we watched Exhibit 34?
Yes.
Okay. Moving down the diagram, I'll ask you about Yuretsi Becerra Montes. You recognize that name?
Yes.
Did you see Yuretsi as the SUV came through the group?
I saw her after.
Where did you see her?
Behind the truck on the ground.
Which truck?
The same truck that was driving in front of all the girls.
That black pickup truck?
Yeah.
How close to the truck was she?
At the tailgate.
Was anybody else with her?
Yeah, I remember seeing her dad and her sister.
How did she appear to you in that moment? Health-wise?
Just in shock.
Moving down the list to Julia Schlickow, excuse me. Did you see Julia as the SUV was driving through the group?
I didn't see her as the SUV came through. I saw her at the hospital.
At Waukesha Memorial?
Yes.
How did she appear to you when you saw her at Waukesha Memorial?
She wasn't good.
Can you take a little bit of time and tell us in a little bit more detail?
I was with Kenzie at the time, and at Waukesha Memorial there's a glass, wall window, and I saw Julia in a wheelchair by herself with, nurses around her, and she was kind of slunched over. She was in and out of consciousness as well, and so I ran over to her and told them her name, and they rushed her in the back because she was not doing well. And then when we got to the back, she started seizing and vomiting.
Oh, God.
And you saw this while you were with Kenzie, as you said?
I saw Julia when I was with Kenzie, and then I left and went with Julia, and then we went in the back to a room, and that's when she started seizing and puking.
And just so we can keep the name straight, who's Kenzie?
Mackenzie Hollingsworth.
And moving further down the diagram towards the front, Sam Coelho. You recognize that name?
Yes.
Did you see Sam as the SUV went through the group?
I didn't see her with the SUV.
What about afterwards?
I didn't see her at the hospital either that night.
Okay. Do you remember providing a written statement with Detective Mandy Schwartz from the Waukesha Sheriff's Department shortly after this incident?
Yes.
I would ask that we project that statement for the witness only.
Go ahead.
We can go down to page 4, please.
Yeah, the doctors probably needed some kind of
Mark for identification.
counseling
What
too.
would be your next number?
Believe 149, please.
All right, will be marked Exhibit 149.
Ms. Kuchewski, do you see the screen in front of you?
Yes.
Let's scroll down
Good morning, Miss Linda.
a little further. All right, just to yourself silently, I'd like you to read from where it says saw another to the words so fast. Just read that silently. Let me know when you're done.
Morning, Steve. ABQ.
I'm done.
Okay. Do you remember writing that or approving that written statement when you met with Detective Schwartz?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember now?
Hold on, we'll take that down.
Yeah, we can take that down, please. Sorry. Do you remember now talking about what happened to Sam?
I didn't see Sam. I only saw her dad.
Okay. And you didn't see her in the hospital afterwards?
Not that night, no.
Did you see her in the days following this incident?
Overruled.
Um,
Answer.
yeah, as soon as the day she was able to have a visitor, I was there.
When you
What,
say visitor,
Casey?
what do you mean? Where was she?
Overruled.
She was at Children's.
Children's Hospital?
Yeah.
Do you know why she was there?
They moved her there just due to her injuries.
And you know she was injured as a result of what?
Overall, she may answer as to what her knowledge of the injuries were.
Yeah, she was there because she was struck.
We put Exhibit 33 back up for the jury and the witness, please.
I'm sorry, 30?
33, please, the
33,
diagram.
Go ahead.
Good morning,
Ms.
the best
Kajewski,
mama
there's,
bear.
two remaining names there on the diagram, Isabella Bartelt and Maddie Hollingsworth. Did you see either of them as the SUV went through the group?
I did not.
Did you see either of them in the immediate aftermath?
I did not.
Based on their position in that diagram and your review of the video evidence here in court, how would you describe their position in relation to the red SUV that went through the group?
If you're looking at the SUV, they were just to the left of it.
Okay. Do you know whether they were actually struck by the SUV?
I do not.
But based on their positioning, they would have been how close to the SUV in your best estimate?
Just a couple feet.
You're not able to give an accurate estimate about how fast the SUV was traveling at that point, is that right?
I could.
Okay. Well, please, if you think you can, please tell us how fast do you think it was traveling?
Mark,
I thought around 55.
there's not enough money,
The
Mark.
black truck that was part of your group, right? That was about the approximate speed of the rest of the parade?
Yeah.
Good morning,
And
Miss
was
Lady
the
J.
red SUV traveling faster than the black truck?
Yes.
Okay.
Morning, Tim B. All right, so when they turn over the questioning or the examination to Brooks, it's going to get a little hairy because Brooks is completely relentless. So I just want to give you guys a warning before we go into it, okay?
That's all I have for direct examination, Your Honor.
All right, then we'll break for lunch. We'll continue with cross-examination after the lunch hour. Please rise for the jury. I can't see any of that.
State that I do consent to that name, nor do I know any individual by that name.
Your lack of consent is noted for the record. All right, Ms. Kajewski, if you would please make your way back to the witness stand. And as soon as you are there, I will have the jury brought out. All right, go ahead.
On the record, before the jury comes out, I would like to direct Your Honor to a case, United States versus Cotton, 535.
Mr. Brooks, if you have a motion, you need to put it in writing, and then I will address it. I'm not going to deal with any oral motions right now. So if you're asking me to reconsider something, you need to follow the proper procedure.
What is the proper procedure, Your Honor?
I've
Good
told you
gracious.
repeatedly what a motion is, so. And if it's a reconsideration, 806.07 is the statute I would direct your attention to.
It's not a reconsideration, it's just bringing up the subject matter jurisdiction again, which
Sir,
still
I've
has
already
yet-
dealt with this repeatedly, so any further times you want me to address it, you need to put it in writing for the court to consider a proper motion.
He always did this. He always brought up the subject matter jurisdiction after a really sensitive witness. Did y'all notice that? He did it after there was something was it someone who witnessed that about Jackson? Do y'all remember that? And he was acting like he was crying.
with the relief that you're requesting, the legal basis, and the facts upon which you are relying.
I have that here, Your Honor.
Not just simply a case. I want a motion.
I've put in several motions that have yet to be
Sir,
answered.
I've already addressed them. The jury's on its way out. I'm not going to delay the start of this cross-examination for this argument yet again.
It's not
I've
an
already
argument.
addressed it. The fact that it's the afternoon doesn't mean I need to address it again. Jury's coming out.
It's going to continue to be brought up. It's going to continue to be brought up, Your Honor. It hasn't been proven that you have jurisdiction, that this court has jurisdiction. I think it's relevant. Subject matter jurisdiction can't be forfeited or waived. You know that.
Hi, Lesinator.
By not answering, Your Honor,
Please, the jury's coming out.
by not answering, Your Honor, you're agreeing to a tactic agreement. Is that a judicial determination that you don't have to answer? I'll take that as a yes.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
Hi, the freaking
Right,
Pope.
Mr. Brooks, you may question the witness if you have any questions for her.
I don't consent to being called that name, as I stated before. I will note that, like that
The
noted for the
defendant can
record.
question the witness then.
Is that noted for the record, Your Honor?
Ask your questions, please.
Is it noted for the record, Your Honor?
Good gracious. He is a fool. Read the room, Brooks. Read the room.
As you testified to earlier, you were present at the Christmas parade on November 21st of 2021. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Do you remember about how long you intended to be at the parade?
Just until we finished the route.
She's changed her demeanor. She's stronger now.
It was a
Look at her.
few exhibits that you stated on record that you weren't familiar with seeing. Would that be fair to say?
Once clarified, I did say that I remembered seeing them.
So you saw those videos before today?
Yes.
About how many times do you recall seeing them before today?
Just once.
Do you recall who showed them to you?
Yes.
You stated for the record and for the jury?
Can you repeat that?
Can you state who showed you the videos for the record and for the jury?
Yeah, the state.
And who would you be referring to when you say the state?
The three seated next to you.
Are you referring to the opposite table next to me?
Yes.
Let the record reflect that. She identified the three prosecutors sitting at the prosecution table.
No objection.
The record will so reflect.
Hey, beep, bop,
Do
boop.
you recall knowing if you would possibly be called to testify?
Yes.
Were you expecting to testify?
Yes, I got a letter in the mail.
Do you recall if that letter was a subpoena?
Yes, it was a subpoena.
You frequently refer to the vehicle as the car. Do you recall those statements?
Yes.
So, for clarification, what type of vehicle did you see that day? Was it a car?
It was a Ford SUV.
And how were you able to determine the make and model of the vehicle?
Objection. The witness did not describe the model.
Rounds.
Overruled. She may answer the question.
So when I first saw it, I made a point to figure out what car it was, not the license plate, and I knew it was either that an Escape or a Mercury. And then as the vehicle got closer to me, I saw the Ford emblem. That's how I knew it was a Ford.
And during those determinations of the make and model of the vehicle, did you catch a description of the driver?
No, I did not.
Any reason why you would be more focused on the make and model of the vehicle instead of who was driving the vehicle?
I can't tell you why. I just made sure I knew what the vehicle was.
And you didn't try to see if you can spot a license plate at any time?
It all happened way too fast.
So would it be fair to say that it happened fast enough for you to not be able to make out the model and make of the vehicle?
No, I knew exactly what it was.
But not exactly who was driving the vehicle?
No, I did not look who was driving it, just the make.
You stated that you observed some girls from your dance team in the hospital. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And you stated that a few of them were laying on the ground?
Yes.
Any idea why they would be laying on the ground in a hospital?
Because there was so many people, there wasn't enough room. So people were standing, sitting, and laying on the ground because the rooms were overflowed.
Were they being attended to at that time?
Nope, because there was too many people.
Did you recall feeling like maybe they should have been attended to, seeing as how they may have been seriously injured?
The nurses were attending to who needed it immediately. The nurses were doing the best they could.
So it would be fair to say that the girls that you observed on the ground weren't of immediate concern to the nurses at that time?
At that time, they weren't.
That is awful. Thanks, Barbara.
Were you injured in any way during this incident?
I was not.
And you testified earlier to the approximate speed of the vehicle. Do you recall what your answer was?
Yeah, about 55 miles per hour.
And how were you able to come to that determination?
Because I've drove for a couple of years now, and that's just the number that came to my head. Because when I drive, I know what 55 feels like, and I know what 25 feels like, and that was just my best guess.
So it would be fair to say that you were making an assumption. You didn't know for sure.
Nope. Yeah, that was just my best guess.
She's very matter of fact with him. I love it. She's not going to let him get to her.
You made a reference to a young woman by the name of Sam. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And what relation do you have to Sam? Is she just part of the dance group or close friend or?
Yeah, she's part of the dance group, but I became super close with her ever since I started working there.
Do you recall seeing her struck by the vehicle?
No.
Here he goes with the blackout thing.
Do you remember where she was at the time that you saw the vehicle pass you?
Yes, she was on the front left side if you're looking towards the truck that was in our group. She was on the left side in front, first girl.
Would it be fair to say that from that angle that you would be able to see her if she was struck?
I was turned the other way. She was behind my back.
So you don't know for sure where she was at when the vehicle passed you?
I do. She was in her formation that I had put her in.
Get him, Melissa.
Do you know if anyone was standing there or in that position with her at that time?
She has her own spot, and there was girls behind her and next to her, but she would have been the only dancer in her spot.
So it would have been people in her general area, but not directly next to her.
Yeah, they have space in between all of them.
You didn't notice that when you drove up on him, Dee?
Do you remember what you did immediately after the vehicle passed you?
Yep, I ran to Alice and I picked her up immediately.
Good morning, John Penman.
In regards to your dance team, did you observe anyone struck?
I just remember seeing bodies in the air, but I can't say I remember seeing a vehicle hit them. I remember seeing bodies in the air and on the ground.
So at that point, it would be fair to say that you didn't know if the people that were on the ground or in the air or whatnot were in fact struck by a vehicle.
Well, I did know it was the vehicle because I turned around and I saw the vehicle coming towards them. And then I think I blacked out until they actually were in the air and on the ground.
By blacked out, what do you mean by that? State that, what that means for the jury and for the record.
Really?
So I can't see anything, but I can hear it. So when I say blackout, I mean I can't visualize it, but I can hear it happening.
Was that the first time that you ever had a blackout?
Yeah,
So it's never happened before that day?
never.
Any idea what caused it on that occasion?
Really? Really?
No. Stress. Shock.
And you stated that you got into a ambulance and with someone who was struck and then left the parade at that point?
A squad car, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, a squad. You left at that point.
Yeah.
Do
Morning,
you
Naomi.
recall about what time that was?
No.
Do you recall how long you were with the person being transported at that time?
No, I wasn't worried about time.
Speaking of time, you just got 1,000 years plus, plus, plus. Can I get an amen in the chat?
Do you recall if anyone was walking directly next to you at the time of the incident?
I was walking next to the girls on my team that got struck.
Do you recall walking next to Sam or Sam walking next to you?
No, she was behind me.
I'm technology special too, Barbara. Don't feel bad.
Do you recall making the statement that, and this is, I'm guessing, in a summary report given to Detective Schwartz? Do you recall being interviewed by Detective Schwartz?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you recall making a statement that Samantha was walking next to you?
No, I don't recall that.
Do you recall making a statement that you did not have enough time to tell Sam to move?
Yes.
And this was the same Sam that you just testified that you did not see struck, correct?
Yeah. Yes, I didn't see her hit.
So it would be fair to say that you made the statement that you didn't have enough time to tell her to move, but didn't actually see what happened to her.
Because she was on the same side as me, and that's why I was saying I didn't have enough time to tell her to move, but I wasn't next to her.
Any idea what may have stopped you from being able to see what happened?
Because I blacked out.
At the point that you blacked out, at that point you didn't see anyone struck.
Morning,
Would that be fair to
Kachito.
say?
I don't remember exactly the vehicle hitting, but I just remember bodies flying. I think I kind of tried to block it out.
Yes, Karen, the next hearing is on the
Do you recall
31st.
making a statement that everything happened
And we do have a live stream set up for it.
so fast,
Yes.
but not fast enough for you to identify the vehicle?
Nope. I remember exactly what the vehicle was.
Do you recall if the vehicle had any damage at that point?
I was only paying attention to what kind of make it was because I could see the body of it was an SUV, and like I said, I thought it was either the make, like the Mercury, or a Ford, and so I was just paying attention to the emblem when the grill got closer and I saw it was a Ford. I wasn't looking for any damage.
About how close would you estimate the vehicle came to you?
I don't know.
Did it get close to you?
I don't know. I blacked out.
Do you remember what side of the road you were on when you blacked out?
Yeah, I was on, if you are looking at the truck, I was on the left side. So if you're walking in the parade, I was on the left side. But I had turned around, and so I was on the right side because I was looking at the vehicle.
So at what point did your memory go fuzzy?
So I turned around and I saw a car or an SUV, and I told myself, "You're crazy. You don't see that." And then all of a sudden, I don't remember anything. I can hear it, and then after, I remember seeing the bodies. So I would say I blacked out from when I saw the vehicle to after it passed.
Any idea how long that may have been, roughly, if you recall?
A second.
So
Exactly, Irene.
pretty much like the snap of a finger.
Yeah, because it went by so fast.
And from your recollection, that was quick enough for you to miss anybody being struck.
I blacked out, so I didn't see them physically get hit.
Outside of Detective Schwartz, did you were you interviewed by any other law enforcement?
No, I only gave that statement, and that was it.
What about at the hospital? Were you interviewed at the hospital?
No, I was not.
Did you call yourself to make a report about what you saw that evening?
No, I went and gave the statement right after I left the hospital, and that was it.
Did you do any follow-up to see if your report was received by anyone in law enforcement?
No.
Good morning, Brian.
Did anybody from law enforcement contact you about the statement that you gave?
No.
He keeps
Do you
bringing up
recall
what
at
he
any
did.
time-
Kimmy says he keeps bringing up the people that were struck as if he didn't, if he wasn't the one that did it. And it's like, yeah, like that's how dumb he is, that he's actually bringing up the obvious. Yeah. Okay, I'm going back to what is it Mark said? He's the best. It was the fourth prosecutor in the room. Good gracious.
Reading or seeing a complaint in this matter?
No.
Morning, Cher.
Do you recall at any time filing any claim in this matter?
No. Are you saying with the police department?
Yes, with the police.
Hey,
no,
Zephyr.
I just gave a statement and that was it.
Morning, JoJo.
Would you consider yourself a party to this matter?
Objection. Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
On relevance grounds.
Do you recall if you were contacted by the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Overruled, she may answer.
Can you say who the plaintiff is?
I'm asking you, are you aware of the plaintiff? Were you contacted
no.
by the plaintiff at any time?
I don't know what the plaintiff is.
The plaintiff would be whoever is bringing the claim for the charges in the matter.
So not, then yeah.
Objection.
Yeah, what? You were contacted by the plaintiff?
Objection.
She answered yes. I'll ask her grounds.
An objection, hold on.
Objection. Move to strike
Grounds.
legal analysis,
Grounds.
and the defendant has testified.
I'll sustain the objection. I'll grant the request to strike the question and the answer for the reasons given by the state. You may rephrase if you'd like.
Bye, Christine.
Who were you contacted about testifying?
The state.
And that, I'm assuming the state of Wisconsin, correct?
I just know them as the state, right there.
Right there, as in referring to the prosecution table?
Correct.
To let the record show that she identified the state as the three attorneys at the prosecution table.
No objection.
Good morning, Naomi. Good morning, Bugcatcher.
And do you recall having a conversation with the state?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you would identify the state as the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Hey, zombie.
Have you ever had any interactions with the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Sustained.
Do you see the plaintiff in the courtroom today?
Same objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Do you even know if there's a plaintiff?
Same objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
So as far as you know,
Hey, Jim.
in your opinion, who would you say is the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Were you present at the parade with any family that day?
No.
He just making up questions as he goes. He doesn't even know.
Just 1 second. And when you visited the hospital, how did you learn of the injuries to any of your dance team partners?
Which hospital are you referring to?
I only heard you say Memorial. You might have said two. I think you said Children's one time too. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that's correct.
I guess I would be referring to Memorial.
So the only injury, well, not even injury, I only knew Julia had something wrong with her brain at the time because they saw spinal fluid coming out of her nose.
And were you told that directly from a doctor?
I heard them freaking out and rushing her to a CT scan because I was right next to her, helping them as she seized and vomited.
Right there. That didn't come out when Zyke crossed or was questioning her, did it? So him being stupid is just bringing up more information for the jury.
So you overheard from the nurses what the diagnosis was.
Yes.
What about for Sam?
Are you referring to the night of?
Yes, when I'm guessing you saw her at some point that night.
I did not see her that night.
Did you see her at any point?
I did. I was there at the hospital the first day she was able to have a visitor.
And
Oh, thanks, Jim.
were you told directly by medical professionals at that time that you were able to see her of any possible injuries?
I wasn't told by them. She actually called me.
Can I strike that answer for hearsay, Your Honor?
No, you asked the question.
But the answer was hearsay.
Would you ask the question?
Zach is so fed up with him. Look at him. He's like,
In the days after the incident, did you have quite a few interactions with the dance team?
Yeah, we tried to keep ourselves busy, and we did a lot of things together.
Did you attend any visuals or any memorials or anything like that?
Yes, I did.
is he trying to
State for the
discredit
record
her?
and for the jury, how many?
I believe it was on Monday. I went to that vigil.
And that would be the only one that you attended?
Yeah, that
What? Why did? Okay. Did he ask that question just because he didn't have anything else to ask? But is he trying to say she's a bad person because she only went to one? When what he could have done was open the door for her and say, well, there was about 20 of them that we all went to.
was the only one they had.
The fact that there was a vigil in, oh, God. Oh my God. He just frustrates me so bad. Exactly, Kajito.
Were you aware of things set up financially for the victims?
Oh, here we go with
Can
the
you repeat that?
finances.
Were you aware of any for example, like GoFundMe's or donations or anything for the victims? Were you aware of anything like that going on in the days after the incident?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
100, Kimmy. He's fixing
You
to start with the
yourself
plaintiff.
donate to any causes associated with the incident?
What?
I did not.
Are you still currently a member of the dance team?
Can you tell me which one you're referring to?
What is it, stream dance team?
Yeah, I'm not. I do not work there anymore.
You're so right, Unseelie.
And was that decision made by the incident, or was it just a personal decision?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
You testified earlier to having the blackout and that being the first time that happened. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
We already did this.
Have you had any blackouts anytime since that day?
No.
First and only time would be that day.
Correct.
No further questions.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Kajewski, with respect to that blackout, you testified that you don't have a visual memory of the SUV actually striking any girls that day. Is that right?
Correct.
You testified, however, that you remember what it sounded like.
Mm-hmm.
Describe that.
Yes, sorry. Yes, so it sounded like those big orange construction cones just being hit. That's what I remember it as.
You do have a visual memory of the immediate aftermath of the strike?
I do.
And what is that memory?
Objection. Hearsay.
You may answer. It's overruled.
Just pure chaos, shoes everywhere, palms everywhere, bodies, people screaming, running around, just chaos.
When asked on cross-examination what caused your blackout, You said stress and shock. You remember giving that testimony?
Yes.
At any time in your life before November 21st of 2021, had you ever witnessed an SUV drive through a group of young women?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled. You may answer.
No.
Okay, Joe Love.
What about any time since November 21st, 2021?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled.
No.
That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. You may step down. She may.
Thank you.
Ugh, he's so disgusting. Hey, Jim Jr., thanks for becoming part of the Hee Hee Kiki Club. We appreciate you. Welcome in, my friend. Let's see. And he went to representation so he could cross-examine Eric Bass for another form of abuse. So, yep, you're right. Carly Doc. Hey, Carly Doc, welcome in. I've got another video to play for you guys if you want to. Let me go through the chat really quick and get caught up on it just a bit. Hey, show poodles. He's trying to take up the court's time. He is. Thing is that he never once said, well, I don't need to question that witness. You know, like every witness, he had to question them. Everyone. Jim said, I had to join the club. You know, Zyke was probably, he probably went to the gym every night and punched a bag, I'm thinking. Daryl called 13 witnesses. He sure did. Not all showed that the prosecution had subpoenaed and didn't call. He thought Opera didn't use them because they would help him. I can't say some of the things that you guys are saying in the chat. I'm like, where, what question? Yes, she was severely. She'll be severely traumatized for a very long time. I wonder how long it's going to take her to get over this, guys. Okay. Let's go on to the next. We have one more, and it's the other extreme coach. And this one, she has more, I kind of feel like they probably had her from the beginning go, okay, look, he's going to try to make you cry. He's going to upset you. You're going to see videos. Like, just hold it together as much as you possibly can. Bless her heart. She did, though. She really did. She had a stern face with him. So here we go.
Right up one riser. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand, and my clerk, Teresa, who's on my left, will swear you in. She's right here. Oh, that's okay.
Thank you, Nancy, for becoming a member. What happened was, hang on.
The whole truth and nothing but the
There we
truth,
go.
so help you God?
Yes. Thank you. Please have a seat. The first thing I would like you to do is to state your first and last names for and then spell each.
First name, Jamie Sutton, Jaimie. Last name, Sutton, Sutton.
Thank you. Go ahead, your
You bet.
witness.
Thank you. Ms. Sutton, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Do you have an affiliate, or have you ever had an affiliation with the Extreme Dance Group here in Waukesha?
Yes, I worked there last year.
How long did you work for Extreme?
From May of 2021 to April of 2022.
What was your role with the organization?
I was a coach for the junior team.
What's the approximate age range of the junior team?
About 8 to 11 years old.
How many people were part of that group, the junior group?
10.
Okay. And did you participate with your dance team in the Waukesha Christmas Parade on November 21st of last year?
Yes.
You yourself were actually present for the parade?
Yes.
Did
Hey,
you
Tina
attend as
Marie.
spectators, or did you march in the parade?
I marched in the parade.
With your girls?
Yes.
Do you remember approaching the 5 Points intersection?
Yes.
Do you remember what happened at that intersection?
A car drove along my left side.
Thank you,
I'm going
Elizabeth.
to ask to put up for the jury exhibit number 15, which has previously been received and published.
Go ahead.
Steve was a friend of ours who recently died, Karen. He was on here a lot with us.
Okay,
and,
do you see the screen in front of you?
Yes.
You see?
We're going to talk. Hang on, Bruiser's getting upset. We're going to talk a little bit about Steve at the end of the stream, you guys. Sorry, Bruiser's just not happy this morning.
A group of names in a green box at the bottom of which is titled Waukesha Extreme Dance.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the names in that list? You can take a few moments to read through it if you'd like.
Yes.
And the black line connecting that box to a star, you see that?
Yes.
Does that star accurately represent the approximate location where you and your girls were when the car came through your group?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask that we display Exhibit 32 and publish it. It's previously been received and admitted. Excuse me, published.
Go ahead.
This is 1 minute and 23. We're not going to play the whole thing. Ms. Sutton, what I'd like to do is to play this from the beginning, and then at a certain point I'll pause it, and I'm going to ask you to see if you see yourself on the video, okay?
Okay.
So we're just going to take a look at this from the beginning.
It's at the bottom of the chat, bug catcher. She is, and she's very pretty.
Pause, please. We've paused at the 43-second mark. Do you see yourself on the screen?
Yes.
So that's a touch screen in front of you. Can you use your finger and circle yourself for us? Okay, so what's on your head?
I have a gray hat on.
Gotcha. Okay, we can clear that, please. We'll continue watching from that point. Pause. We've paused at the 57-second mark. Based on the video that we've seen so far in this exhibit, did it appear to you as though the girls were maintaining their position in the group?
Yes.
Okay. Can we display for the witness exhibit number 33 and publish this as well, please? It's previously been admitted and published.
Exactly, Cher. I call it Chihuahua life. Well, I like to call it Chihuahua life. I do love the breed, though.
Go ahead.
I would like you, Ms. Sutton, to please take a few minutes or moments and look at this exhibit. Read all the names. Let me know when you're done.
Okay.
The boxes with names in them, are they accurately represented in this diagram based on where they were in the formation in real
Oh,
life?
let me take this down.
Yes.
Okay. I now would like to play for the witness only exhibit number 36, please.
You're so right, Stephanie. Glad to have you here, honey. You know what? That might be what it is, Amanda. He hasn't gotten his peanut butter yet this morning.
So we played about 11 seconds for you there. Do you recognize that video?
Yes.
Have you seen it before?
Yes.
What does it show?
It shows a car hitting some of our girls.
Is that video an accurate depiction of how the events unfolded that day?
Yes.
I'd move Exhibit 36 into evidence and ask for permission to publish.
Exhibit 36 is received. Permission to publish is granted. May I please have the total length of the video?
This is 29 seconds. We're going to play from the beginning, and we're going to turn the audio on.
Your Honor, is the video playing at the right speed?
My understanding it will be.
We'll double check for Mr. Brooks. Can we make sure that we've got it at 100%? Yep.
It just wasn't turned up. So that means when it was just showed, it wasn't playing at the right speed.
I think I can just very simply clarify. To adjust the speed, you have to change it to see what it's set at. So it was at 100%, and it is now back at 100%.
Thank you.
I object to that for the record.
Get him,
Clearly
Zyke.
wasn't at the right speed.
Oh my God.
Reflects the statement made by Attorney Wichow regarding the speed, and the court accepts that. Go ahead.
Hey, Marcus. Does he really, Barbara? Yeah, she's trying to keep from crying here. Look at her looking away.
Okay, I'd like to go back to the beginning of that, please. We're going to pause, please. We're going to slow that down, Miss Sutton. And I'd
Hey,
like
Louise.
you, at a certain point, we're going to pause. And if possible, if you can, I'd like you to identify some people in the frame for us, okay?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to play from the beginning at, can we reduce it, please, to 40%?
I think when he said, can we reduce it to 40%? Was that, when he said 40%, what does that mean, you guys? Is that what Brooks was complaining about? And John, I don't think he did get any exhibits admitted into evidence because he wouldn't look up. She gave him a book to show him how to do all that, and he never read it.
And turn the sound off. Okay, we'll play from the beginning.
Hey, David. I agree. They were his prosecution team was pretty brutal the couple of days they were there.
Pause. Paused at 12 seconds. How many people do you see laying on the ground, Ms. Sutton?
I see one person laying on the ground in this frame.
And can you circle them for us? Who is that?
That is Vivian
What's her last name?
Ural.
That has to preserve the annotation.
Did you hear the people in the court crying in the background?
Mark it as Exhibit 36A and enter it into the evidence, please.
The annotation will be captured. It will be marked as 36A. It is received.
Could we please remove the annotation? And could we go frame by frame for a few frames here?
Hi, Joy. Welcome in. She's really holding herself together well, bless her heart.
Pause. So we've stopped at 12-second timestamp. At the moment that the SUV first made contact with your group, where were you in relation to the rest of the group?
I was towards the back right side of the group.
Right,
looking
as
under
in
us.
standing in the road and looking down the parade route?
Yes.
Okay. Based on your position in the road and your memory from that day, are you able to identify anybody else who's depicted in the video at this point?
I believe that's Olivia Stover in the left.
And what color is her hair?
Brown.
Could you please circle Olivia for us? And as to preserve that annotation and mark it as Exhibit 36B and to enter it into evidence, please.
Face.
Your objections noted. 36B is received, and the annotation will be captured and preserved for the record.
We can take that down now, please. Ms. Sutton, can you walk us through your memory of what happened as the SUV began to go through your group?
Yes, I was in the back right with some of our younger teams and was helping them get in their formation. And I heard some yelling behind me, some screaming, and I looked over my left shoulder. And just as I looked over my left shoulder, there was a red car that drove through. By the time I looked, it was already hitting our girls.
What happened next?
Girls that were not injured started to run over to the sidewalk. So I started to gather them all in one area.
What happened next?
I tried to reunite those that I could with their parents. Those that I couldn't, I took with me, and I heard there was an active shooter. So we went into Chef Pam's kitchen and hid out there until we were told it was all clear to go to our cars.
Chef Pam's Kitchen is a business, a storefront on Main Street?
Yes.
Okay. What happened next?
After that, I went to my car, went to the hospital, and did my police statements.
In the immediate aftermath after the SUV came through your group, did you at any point see a person named Charlotte Urell?
Not that day.
Okay. You know who Charlotte Urell is?
Yes.
Can you explain for us her relationship to the extreme dance group?
Overruled. You may answer.
She is the older sister of two of the Waukesha Extreme Dancers.
Was she with your group in the parade?
Yes, she was handing out candy.
Okay. And you said you didn't see Charlotte that day. When did you next see her?
Well, I saw her that day before the parade started, but I didn't see her in the aftermath.
Okay. When did you see her? After the SUV went through the group, when's the next time you saw Charlotte Urell?
Weeks later at the dance studio.
Okay. And did you make any observations of Charlotte at that time?
She was on crutches.
Do you know why she was on crutches?
She was hit by the car that drove through.
During the parade?
Yes.
The red SUV we saw in the videos you watched?
Yes.
Okay. What about Grayson Urell? Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Who's that?
He is the younger brother of two of the Waukesha Extreme Dancers.
Did you see Grayson Urell marching with your group during the Christmas parade?
Yes.
Before the SUV came through the group?
Yes.
Did you see Grayson Urell at any point after the SUV came through?
Not that day.
When is the next time after the SUV came through your group that you saw Grayson?
Weeks later when he was discharged from the hospital after being hit from the red SUV.
Okay. And what personal observations did you make of Grayson at that time?
He had a large cast on his arm. I believe he might have been in a wheelchair or crutches.
Can you describe for us the uniform that your girls were wearing that day?
They were wearing black leggings black Waukesha Extreme jackets, white Santa hats with light-up headbands attached to them, white light-up gloves, and white pom-poms.
Could we please display for the witness only exhibit number 102, 102? Ms. Sutton, just let me know when you see the screen, okay? Okay. What are we looking at here?
This is a red SUV that is smashed up. And there's a white light-up headband on what used to be the side mirror.
Do you recognize that white light-up headband?
Yes.
What is it?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. You may answer.
That is one of the headbands that was over our girls' white Santa hats.
Is this photo an accurate depiction of how that headband looked the day of the parade?
Yes.
Before? Yep. Obviously, it's not on anybody's head right now.
Yes.
Okay. I move exhibit 102 into evidence and ask for permission to publish.
The court's going to withhold receiving exhibit 102 until further foundation can be laid.
Hey, Shelley, I don't know if you heard
So
me
permission
earlier.
to publish is denied at this point.
It's almost like
Thank you.
she's scared to look at him. Oh, here we go, y'all.
Any questions for this witness?
Yeah.
It's fake. His fake sympathy.
Do you recall what time you arrived at the parade that evening?
The parade started at 4. I believe I was there around 3:30.
Did you come with anybody, or?
I came with Alyssa.
Hey, Ummy.
Would it be fair to say that you guys are pretty close?
Yes.
Do you recall giving a statement to Detective Schwartz?
I gave a statement to a deputy. I don't know their name.
Do you recall at what time that was, roughly after the incident?
It was around 6:30 that night.
Do you remember where you were when you gave the statement?
It was at the transit center, the Waukesha Transit Center.
Hi, Ginger Snap Girl.
And
I almost said
when
gingerbread.
did you first notice a vehicle approaching?
I heard screaming and yelling behind me, and that was when I looked over my left shoulder.
Thanks, Omi.
Do you recall how close the vehicle was to you at the time where you looked over your left shoulder?
It was on the left side, and I was on the far right. So
Hi,
it wasn't
Minnie
very
T.
close to me.
Good to see you, honey.
Were you able to identify any driver of the vehicle?
No.
Would it be fair to say that you referred to it, the vehicle, numerous times as car?
Yes.
Would it also be fair to say that you then identified it as an SUV?
Yes.
So what exactly did you see? What type of vehicle did you actually see, an SUV or a car?
It was an SUV.
Any reason why you would refer to it as car?
I refer to all cars as just cars, no matter what they are.
You go, girl.
If it's a
Get
truck,
him.
it's still a car.
There you go.
Would it be fair to say that certain vehicles look different than others?
Absolutely.
At what point do you recall hearing that there may have been an active shooter?
Could you repeat that question?
At what point do you recall hearing that there may be an active shooter?
When I was gathering the girls who hadn't been hit, a man came up to me and said that there was an active shooter amongst all of that.
Do you recall if that was somebody marching in a parade or a spectator, or
I'm not sure.
were they any law enforcement?
No.
Did you hear any shots?
No.
And where did you go from there after you were informed that there may be an active shooter?
I went into Chef Pam's kitchen.
Did you go in there alone, or?
No, people were piling in there, and I had several girls with me, several dancers with me.
Hey, Donna. Yeah, we saw that.
You were shown a few videos. Do you recall seeing those before today?
Yes,
How many times have you seen them before today?
at least 10 times.
So pretty frequently you've seen them.
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you saw those numerous times to maybe bring back something you couldn't recall?
Yes.
You stay for the record and for the jury, who showed you these videos multiple times?
They were sent to me.
So that would be, were they sent via email or?
It's all
Over
a
text message.
conspiracy.
Yeah.
And can you stay for the record and for the jury who the text messages were sent from?
Alyssa.
So they weren't sent by any law enforcement or?
No.
Barbara, is that the case where her boyfriend set her on fire? That one was brutal. That one was so brutal. I watched the Netflix series on that.
To the best of your knowledge, can you recall how Alyssa was able to obtain the videos that you saw today?
I'm not sure.
So she never mentioned that to you in any way at any time?
No.
Were you able to identify the driver?
No.
Ding ding. He's got his
Were you able to identify a license plate number?
No.
license plate.
Were you injured during the incident in any way?
No.
I know, Shelley.
Did you go to the hospital after the event?
Yes.
Were you transported there, or did you drive there yourself, or?
Hey, Abby.
My fiance drove me there.
Hi, Sierra.
Do you recall how long you stayed at the hospital?
Not long. I was told just to go give a police statement.
So it would be fair to say that you went to the hospital strictly for the police statement
I went
purposes?
to the hospital to see if the girls that I had unaccounted for were at the hospital.
Charlotte's in a crazy time zone from us, show. That might be why we haven't seen her.
And were you able to gain the information that you were seeking?
Yes.
So that would explain the brief stay at the hospital.
Yes.
Did you learn any additional information at that point?
Nope.
She's so matter of fact that he can't come up with anything with her.
Do you recall in the statement that you gave to the Detective Schwartz that you observed people running towards the sidewalk?
Yes.
Did you see anyone on the sidewalk struck by the vehicle?
No.
Do you recall stating that you were waiting inside of a building for what seemed like a long time?
Yes.
And what would you estimate time-wise what time frame that would be?
Probably.
Just object here and ask for clarification about what building we're talking about.
Sustain us to the form of the question, please rephrase.
Well, from the report, it just says they needed to seek shelter inside of a building, so it doesn't say the name of the building in the report. I guess that's why I didn't refer to a specific name of the building.
Just ask your question, Mr. Brooks. Please rephrase.
How long would you estimate you seek shelter?
Probably around an hour.
And did you immediately leave from that point?
I made sure all of my girls were reunited with their parents and family members. And once they were all reunited, then I left.
Once again, his questioning is not planned ahead. He's reading the report. Oh, let me go back to my list.
A written statement?
Yes.
Do you recall who you gave the written statement to?
No.
Do you recall in your written statement saying that it seemed as if something was wrong with the vehicle?
Yes.
And what would you, from your recollection, what would you say was wrong with the vehicle?
It was going very fast. I thought maybe there was brake failure happening because it was going so fast.
There you go.
And what made you come to that conclusion?
Because there was a car driving through a parade
Bam.
instead of slowly rolling through like the other vehicles.
Bam. She got
So it
him.
would be fair to say your initial thought was something was wrong with the vehicle.
Yes.
Did you see any smoking from the vehicle, any damage to the vehicle at that point?
No.
You're so right, Ami. Or is it Omi? You have to put it in the chat and let me know how to pronounce it.
Did you observe where the vehicle went after it passed you?
No.
Did you see anyone struck after the vehicle passed you?
Yes.
But to the best of your recollection, you don't recall what the vehicle did after it passed you?
Correct.
Are we fixing to go to the plaintiff's questions?
Would you say it was pretty loud that night?
Yes.
Pretty windy, cold?
Yes.
After you had been waiting in the building for a while, who came and informed you guys that it was okay to leave at that point?
It was police that came and told us we were clear to go.
Was it one officer, a couple
Just
of
one.
them? Two of them?
Just one.
You don't recall their names by chance?
No.
At that point, did you ask the police officers for any information about the active shooter?
No.
I think Don Woods would have lied on the stand, in my opinion.
About
Just
what
my
time
opinion.
would you estimate that you left the parade?
After I got the all clear,
Do you recall what time that was?
I do not recall.
Do you recall if the vehicle had any tinted windows?
I do not recall.
Were you close enough to the vehicle to make out the make and model of the vehicle?
No.
Do you recall any windows being down or anything like that?
No.
Do you recall anything being tossed from the vehicle, falling out of the vehicle?
No.
So it's just pretty much just moving straight.
Yes.
Hey, Tony.
About how long would you approximate you watched the travel of the vehicle after it had passed you?
Hi,
I
Larry.
didn't watch the vehicle after it went past me. I was looking at the dancers on the ground.
So it would be fair to say that once the vehicle passed you, you couldn't see if it struck anyone else at that point.
Correct.
No further questions.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. You may step down. She may.
What a piece of crap. So he thinks, oh, I did my job. I did my job. Remove from studio. And put myself back up on the screen. There we go. Okay. Yeah. I mean, come on. All that did with him questioning these poor victims, and I consider everybody that saw this a victim. Like all he did was just dig his own grave every time. He better not be. You know what? I can't see it, Barbara. I can't see him. Oh, I hope not. I'm going to read some of your chats really quick. Dawn couldn't get to the courthouse. She takes the bus anyway, Mark. I don't think she has a driver's license. I don't think she drove. She had to have bought that car for him, right? Amanda says there's just not enough duct tape in the world to fix stupid. She was embarrassed, I think, but she also was more worried about incriminating herself, I think, more than anything. I'm going down. Ignore the people that were just hurt. Wait, now y'all are chatting quick. I just lost my spot. No, ignore the people that just hurt and memorialize all about the vehicle and the driver. Much of a brain to work with. Hey, Larry, I'll behave, so don't put me to the other courtroom. I won't. The car was in her name, I know, but well, that's true, Mark. I don't know. Okay, so she didn't drive. I don't think she likes to drive. I don't know. I remember we kept hearing that. All right. Yeah, Barbara says she thinks she filed bankruptcy. I haven't seen anything with the court on that yet, so I don't know. But so you guys, before we leave today, I wanted to just take a moment. So we just found out over the weekend that we lost one of our community members, friend. For me, he was like one of the first people that ever came on any of my lives, and he was always real supportive, and I'll never forget him for that. His name was Steve Yeager, and he always came in with the facts, and he always had good math, and I could depend on him I could go back and say, Steve, what do you think about this? Or Steve, can you figure this part out? And he'd come back and he'd let us all know. And some of you guys may not have known him. I think a lot of you guys did, but he was just a really nice soul. He was a beautiful person. And even though we didn't know him in person, we just really enjoyed him and having him in our lives while we were here on stream. So I just wanted to take a moment to recognize him. And in honor of him, I wanted to play this song because he had this up on his, and I'm probably going to get a strike for this, but maybe I can take it down. I don't know. Here, let me do this. I can't play it, but here's what I'm going to do. Hang on. I can't play the music, but if you guys would open another tab, and I'm going to put in the tab a song and a link to a video. And if you would, please go click on that video on your own, because I'm going to have the sound off on my end, okay? And let's listen to this song together. And remember our brother, Steve. Hang on just a second. I'm almost there. Let me get the link for y'all. Here's the link. I'm putting it. They'll shut me down for playing it. That's what I figured. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm putting the link in right here. So if you guys go in and click on that link and listen, turn your volume up. And I'm just going to bring up the share screen, but I've got the volume turned off, okay? It's just a beautiful song. Are you on your phone? Okay. I know I was too, Barbara. That's honestly, you guys, that's probably why I didn't do a live on Saturday or Sunday, because I found out, was it Saturday morning? I think that's when I found out. Amanda and Cher had gotten a hold of me. And yeah. I'm going to put up a picture. If I can find it. I don't have it anymore. I posted his obituary link at the very top of this video as well. If you guys want to go in there and say something nice, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we were all wondering where he was. I can't get on Facebook anymore. I was friends with him on Facebook, but I got duped off of Facebook. So I'm gonna just I did go on and post that artwork that he did for me, Cher. Well, he would just say that he wasn't feeling good, didn't he, Amanda? He never said that he... Did he ever really state that he had cancer? See, it's hard because when I'm moderating, I'm trying to stick to the topic of what we're watching on the video. I was trying to figure out a way to pay him tribute. And I just don't know any other way to do it than this. Does anybody know how long he had, or how long when he was diagnosed, like how long he was? Because I thought he was taking his mom to a lot of doctor's visits and stuff. I remember seeing that. Anyway, you guys can listen to that song. I just thought it was, it's now every time I hear that song, I want to think about him, and it's such a beautiful song, and it sounds like he's such a cool dude. He was such a cool dude that it's like that tune makes sense, that he liked that kind of music. So yeah, our sweet, sweet brother. So yeah, you can go on his obituary link, which is pasted. It's pinned to the top of the chat, and you can put something nice in there, please. And if he ever sent you anything on, like if he ever sent you any art or anything, you could post that too, like they said. I didn't think so. I didn't think that we all kind of knew what was going on. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time for that, you guys, and helping me pay a tribute to him in the best way or only way I know how, really. I know that one of our members was texting or was in touch with a family member. Wouldn't be in touch with a family member. So if we hear anything more, we'll let you guys know. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'll put it on the community tab and not on a video. So if his family or anybody ever listens to this, we just send our prayers and thoughts to them, and glad that he's no longer suffering and he's in a better place. He got diagnosed a little over a year ago. Okay. And he wasn't going to do treatment. He was going to enjoy life. You know what? I'm with him on that. I am so with him on that. I agree. I don't think I would either. All right. You guys have a beautiful evening. Love you guys. And I might do another live later this evening. Y'all stay safe and enjoy your Monday. Thanks for being here with me.